What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Berm, and today we're going to be breaking down the returning Pokemon in the Teal Mask, the first Scarlet and Violet DLC, and likely legal Pokemon in Regulation E for VGC here in the year of our Lord 2023. I'm going to talk about which Pokemon I think are going to be the most viable, which ones you're going to see on every team, which ones you're not going to need to worry about, which ones I'll probably be making videos with because they're going to be niche Pokemon and I like doing that. Not going to be talking about the brand new Pokemon. So there are some new Pokemon that are going to be returned or that are going to be making their debut. I'm not breaking those down yet because we don't exactly know what they do yet. We know some stuff, not all stuff. So that's not what this video is about. It's about the returning mons that have already been legal in VGC in years past and talking about how Terra is going to affect their style of play and which ones might be more viable now, which ones might be less viable now, stuff like that. If you wouldn't mind, before we begin, liking, commenting, subscribing, helping this video reach more people. Lofty goal, trying to get to 10K by the end of the year. That'd be so cool. And it only happens more and more exponentially. These videos reach people's eyes when you click the buttons. So liking, commenting, hitting notification bells, and you know, sharing. People share, right? We also stream every Thursday night, 7 p.m. I am somebody who, if this is the first time you're seeing a video, I share rental teams all the time. I play on the ranked ladder here in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and I use niche Pokemon. I also have these streams, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard, like I said, where I'll battle against the chat. So if you're interested in getting a battle or battling somebody else in the chat, you know, there's other people who get together and battle, waiting to battle me with some fun Pokemon. Hey, this is your chance. Hit that notification bell. Make sure you're aware of when I'm streaming, and I'd love to see you there. Anyway, let's jump into this thing here. I've made this what I think is one of the more easy to see, readable graphics focusing on this. All of them are like lists, but I was having a hard time visually connecting with any of those things. So here are all of our returning Pokemon. Okay, we're going to go through, we're going to talk about red X's. Those are going to be Pokemon you don't got to worry about. Okay, they weren't good before and they're not going to be good now, basically. We're going to go through yellow squares, I think. That's going to be Pokemon that might be good, things that I have a question mark about, things that interest me as Pokemon that could sneak into a tournament, but might not be every single team. At Team Preview, you're going to see this Pokemon on the team. And then we're going to see those green circles, which are going to be the Pokemon that you see all the dang time, starting in Regulation E. Again, this is speculative. There's potentially some weird rule that's going to happen where these Pokemon are not legal in Regulation E. This is based on the pattern of every single time the DLC comes out, it releases. This is releasing mid-September. It'll probably become legal, my guess, October 1st, okay? That's not confirmed, and these Pokemon aren't technically confirmed. But these are going to be your Regulation E newcomers and the new Pokemon, obviously. Okay, red X's. I'm going to go ahead and say you're not going to see a ton of Arbok. Arbok is a Pokemon that is a poison type. Poison types have always struggled. They're weak to ground types, you know, and psychic types. Poison types do a little bit better with Terra, but you'd have to dedicate your entire Terra to making Arbok more able to take a hit. It gets Intimidate, which is cool. It gets Glare, which is cool. I'm not writing it off entirely. Some of these red X mons you will see on thumbnails in the future, but I just don't see it being something that's insanely viable still, unfortunately. Sorry, Arbok. Moving on, we're going to put a red X on definitely Furret. I mean, you know, it's cute, but what are we talking about here? Noctowl is going to get a red X as well. Mightyena also going to get a Rex. Noctowl, it's bulkier. I remember Wolf did like a, did he get to rank 1 with Noctowl? It's like in the world of Dynamax, it was like bulky enough to like take a bunch of hits and get like Tailwind up and stuff. But that was more of a meme team. I really don't see it happening for Noctowl without that Dynamax bulk, even if it does get Terra. Mightyena, another Intimidator, but just going to struggle being a pure Dark type that doesn't have the best defenses or speed. I'm going to put a red X on Shiftry. I think Shiftry struggles from a lot of stuff. It's weak to a lot of stuff, and it still just isn't good enough. Same thing with Crawdaunt. I mean, again, you might see it on a team. You might see it get Dragon Danced up and then sweep you. But it's not going to do wonders for anybody. I want to put a red X on Dusknoir too, I think. I might change some of these, but right now it's feeling like Dusknoir. You know, we're all looking at the Pokemon next to it when we're talking about one of those two. Chimecho, yeah. I don't even know what you do. I know you get levitate. And if that's all I know about you, there's a reason for that. I'm going to put a red X over... I'll put a red X over Vikavolt. Yeah. Man, I love this Pokemon. I'm going to put a red X over Cramorant as well. Cramorant just... It has like a really cool ability, I think. But that ability is purely dependent upon... Jesus Christ, what are you doing here, Illustrator? That ability is purely dependent upon like being able to get hit and then the thing activating. I think it still does activate if you get completely one shot, but it doesn't deal enough damage on the recoil or the Pikachu, which is like not enough chance to reliably paralyze something. If you've never used Cramorant, you don't even know what I'm talking about, but it's just not consistent enough to be a huge threat. I'll keep the Sinnoh guys in here for now. Ambipom is a question mark for me, but something tells me with normal Terra, it could actually be pretty good, and I think it does get Fake Out too. If it doesn't get Fake Out, that would be a bigger question mark for me, but I think it has a pretty good move pool with the ability to Terra. Yeah, we're gonna hold on to Ambipom there, actually, I think. I'm gonna red X Vileplume. I'm red Xing Vileplume, and I'm red Xing... I'm also gonna red X Poliwrath. Sorry if I skipped over them and you thought that meant they were in the clear. I'm also, sorry, gonna red X Hitmonchan. Yeah, none of those Pokemon do enough unique stuff for it to be seen over other Pokemon, in my opinion. You know, there are better Swift Swim users than Poliwrath. There are better Pokemon that, I don't know what Vileplume even does, you know, and that's a problem. So these are going to be your red X Pokemon. I think I'm going to stop there. Everything else at least has some kind of use in my mind. Again, I'm probably going to use some of these red X Pokemon on teams myself, but I want to get moving into the next, potentially more important section, because these are Pokemon that I'm definitely interested in and definitely will make teams with. These are going to be your yellow square Pokemon. These are like maybes. These are like, oh, you're going to see them to the point where you know what they do, but not to the point where you're seeing them on every single team. And we're going to start here with Hitmonlee. I'm looking right at it. Hitmonlee is interesting because Hitmonlee gets Unburden. It gets Fake Out. I don't know where we stand on whether or not Coaching's in the game, but no Pokemon currently get it. You can only get it by metronoming at the moment. I remember it being a really good coaching mon, at least on the sort of obscure teams that I was making, where you could unburden and then coaching stuff right next to you. You could unburden with a Fake Out. I was unburdening on a grassy terrain, Grassy Seed, and then coaching my Rillaboom when Gigantamax Rillaboom first came out. So I could see it doing stuff. I'm definitely going to use it. It's pretty fast, you know. It can take a hit as well. I'm going to put a yellow square there on Hitmonlee. We'll put one on Blossom too. It's definitely not a green circle. The reason that Blossom's there is that it's a chlorophyll Pokemon that gets Sleep Powder, and I just don't think that you can underestimate that. There are Pokemon that do it better, you know? So it's kind of like Poliwrath in that way, where it's like, yeah, you get Swift Swim, but why would you use it over something that better with Swift Swim? I don't know why you'd use Blossom over like a Jumpluff or a Lilligant, but I still just it should probably be a red X. Oops. Yeah, I talked myself into it. This is a red X. Sorry, dude. Moving on, we're gonna put a yellow square. I think all three of the Sinnoh starters are going to get yellow squares. I do think you'll start to see them. You'll definitely see them just for the fact that people are excited to use them. They're a lot of people's favorite Pokemon, so you're going to see them around for that reason alone. The higher end of Pokemon that are actually going to be viable is going to be your Infernape, and then it's going to be Empoleon, in my guess, and then it's going to be Torterra. Torterra might even be a red X. I'm not going to go back on it and make him a red X now. Because I do think you'll see him way more than you'll see like a Blossom. But with Terra, he's potentially interesting because he's pretty beefy, and he does get ground and grass moves, which hit some important types for super effective damage. And having stab on that is no joke. But it's just not. I feel like he's one of those Pokemon that's not slow enough to benefit from Trick Room, or to be like a Trick Room sweeper, and he's not fast enough to do anything in regular. And then his default typing is just weak to a bunch of stuff. So it makes it so that it's like, all right, I'm going to get hits on you first, and I'm going to deal a lot of damage because you're weak to everything. Unfortunately for Torterra, because you know, I like Torterra. My grass starters are near and dear to my heart. Empoleon, best defogger. Not for VGC. Doesn't really need to have defog, but it's just bulky. It has a lot of moves. You know, there's just a lot of stuff you can do with it. It can be an attacker. It can be a supporter. It can be defensive. It's interesting. It's not green circle by any means, but it's interesting, and that's why I think it'll go in the yellow square category. We have Infernape, obviously. That Pokemon is fast enough to outspeed stuff. I think it's also one of the only Pokemon that gets Mach Punch currently, or will be. Actually, you know what? Probably all the Hitmons get Mach Punch as well once this DLC releases. But that's not nothing, you know, and it gets Flare Blitz, and it's like your classic Glass Cannon. And I could imagine some fun stuff being pulled with Terra, just for the fact that you can, like, you have a pretty decent attacking stat. It also can go physical or special, which can be no joke. So on the ranked ladder, you know, with team preview, or sorry, with a open team sheet, you're going to know if it's physical or special. So in that way, it's not going to be as good in tournaments. But on the ranked ladder, I could see it doing some fun stuff. Just boosting up maybe some of those special attacking moves that aren't as strong. But now that you have Terra to really, like, crank out an overheat or crank out, you know, I don't think anybody's going to be fighting Terra focus blasting, but it would hurt if you did. Stuff like that. Other yellows, definitely going to be like Ambipom. I kind of talked about it earlier, but I could just see the Pokemon that are normal types with normal Terra now, I think are just ones to watch. And Ambipom gets a lot of cool stuff. It gets Fling. I think it gets Fake Out. I could be checking that, but I'm not for some reason. I know it gets Double Hit, Double Edge, stuff like that. It's just interesting to me. And I'm fully okay with anybody considering that a red X. Just, to me, it's going to be on my yellow square list. Let's go yellow with Yanmega. Yanmega gets speed boost. That's the main reason. And I think that is worth it. There's obviously a lot of dark types. Dark types are really good in VGC this generation. So a really fast bug Pokemon, I think, is something that we're not seeing yet. I don't know that we have any fast bug Pokemon at the moment in VGC. So I think, you know, there's something to be said about that. And yeah, I just don't think you can underestimate speed boost as a potential problem for people. I'll go Chandelure as yellow because, we went black. I'm going to go Chandelure as yellow just because of its, I think it's popular, but it's also so strong, right? And I think it does get Trick Room as well, and it can get imprisoned, so you might see it as like people's reason for doing that. It's just so strong and has such a good typing, and I think that's also the reason why it's not going to be a green circle. The typing thing gets Sucker Punched through the moon, but I just think that it's more interesting than a red X as well. My boy Trev is going to get a yellow square, and a lot of people probably were like, why did you skip Trevin on the red X category? I personally have a relationship with Trevenant. We're married, we have 5 kids. I used Trevenant a lot in draft format before I was really doing a lot of YouTube, and I know Trevenant's tricks. It gets Harvest, and you can pull off some crazy stuff. It gets like Ally Switch, which can be annoying. It can be a Trick Room setter. Really, but that Leech Seed Citrus Berry Harvest set is annoying. And so I know that it can do more. I don't know that average people, because I'm special and way smarter than them. I don't think that like your average player will be using it or be seeing its potential. And again, I don't think its potential really even knocks it up into the green circle, but with the right support, the right team, I think Trevenant could be annoying, and I'm excited to use it, so I'm giving it a yellow square. Okay, it's my video. You can't tell me what to do. I think I'm also, I'm going to give Gliscor the yellow square. Gliscor is such an interesting Pokemon. It's such a menace in singles. I'm looking at it, and I'm like, this Pokemon gets the Toxic Orb situation. It can just sit there and heal up, and it gets Roost. I think it still gets Roost. It's got a great typing. You know, ground flying is really, really good because of Landorus. But the thing about Gliscor that's interesting to me is that I think that Terra really changes how it can be used in VGC, because normally a water move will drop it, an ice move will drop it. And now, with that one Terra, if on the turn that you Terra into a steel type, right, is the same turn that you take out their, ice move user, suddenly Gliscor's there and it's stuck. And everybody's been sitting there trying to kill a fairy type Cresselia, but they don't have the things to do it anymore. Or, a fire type Gastrodon, or like whatever these like bulky Pokemon are that just like save their Terra, hit the Terra after they've like gotten a boost or something. And now a perfect example is like a fairy type Hisui and Gudra. Like, these are scary Pokemon, and I think that Gliscor could fit into that category. I was almost going to give it a green circle, but I'm going to give it a yellow square just because it's never, at least in my memory, been a VGC staple, and that's really what I want to like save my green circles for. This is sort of its rookie year, in my opinion, in a weird way, because obviously it's an older Pokemon now. But so yeah, I'm going to leave it with that yellow square. And I think that it could be interesting and annoying to go up against. Now we're moving into the green circle territory. Guys, you're going to see these Pokemon a lot. First and foremost, I'll go down, you know what? I'll go down here. I don't know. I almost feel like there's multiple tiers here still, too. I almost feel like there is. Yeah, you know what we're going to do? We're going to do green circles at first here. And we're going to give one to Conkeldurr. I think Conkeldurr is just a really bulky fighting Pokemon that switching to another type with Terra is scary. I think that it could really do Conkeldurr really well, but that ability to Drain Punch, the ability to like really take advantage of Trick Room too, is like not to be looked over. I think that Conkeldurr could be a force. It's also like a Guts user, right? And it's not going to do all the Dynamax stuff that it was doing way back when in Sword and Shield, but I still think that it's going to be pretty phenomenal. We got Mamoswine here. Mamoswine, just such a unique, interesting typing. I think it has as much potential as it always had. It can be fast, it can be bulky, it can be strong. And when you have that versatility, I just don't think that you can discount it. Great move pool as well. I like Mamoswine a lot, and I think people are going to use it. We have your Milotic here. Milotic, I think, is a Pokemon that, again, it can be bulky, and with Terra, I think Milotic's going to absolutely crush some people. That's my guess. It has ways of, it can coil, it can recover, it gets competitive, it gets multi-scale. This Pokemon is insane. It was really, really good with Dynamax, and I think Terra's going to be even better for it. So I'm putting that there. Let's go with, here's what I'll do. Yeah, we're going to go green on Dusclops. This Pokemon's going to be everywhere. It's such a good Trick Room setter. It, with a Violite, becomes the bulkiest Pokemon in the world. And your ability now to read a Ghost move or a Dark move coming into it and switching to a different type is awful. That Pokemon is going to be really, really good with Terra. Any bulky Pokemon, I think, are the ones that benefit the most from Terra, as I've been saying. And I think that Dusclops is no exception. Dusclops is really scary. Pain Split, Nightshade, get ready. It's back. Scary Pokemon. Really, really good if you're a Trick Room kind of person. Let's go Hitmontop. Hitmontop's awesome, and I'm so excited to see it back. It's going to get Intimidate like it always has. It gets Fake Out. It'll also probably get Mach Punch plus Combat. We'll see if it gets like... did Ice Spinner get nixed? No, right? Or sorry, it wasn't Ice Spinner that it got. I'm thinking it. They made Ice Spinner right after they made Triple Axle, which was the move that Hitmontop was more likely to use. I don't know if Triple Axle is a move anymore. I don't remember if it's in the game, but not given to any Pokemon yet. I can't remember. It might be a DLC move. We'll see. But aside from that, even, I think that Hitmontop's just really great. But an Intimidator that gets Fake Out. There's not a ton of those. One of them's coming in the next DLC that everybody will be aware of. But yeah, this Pokemon I think will be really good, especially because that Incineroar is not going to be here yet. Okay, Hitmontop is going to be the Fake Out Intimidate user. Are there any even yet? I can't think of one. I don't know that there's anybody that gets Intimidate and Fake Out yet. And actually, I don't think there's any Pokemon, or there's been a time where Hitmontop was in a rule set, but Incineroar wasn't yet. That could be wrong. Maybe there was a time during Sword and Shield where that was true. but I imagine Hitmontop is going to be the go-to for a while until Incineroar enters, purely because it gets that Fake Out and that Intimidate combo. I think Snorlax is going to be insane with Terra. I think that you can use normal Terra to boost its damage output, or like without having to Belly Drum, if that's not the set you're going for, or you can make the Curse Recycle sets even worse by the fact that you can change your typing late into a game. You can become a Ghost type. Like, anybody who's faced Ghost Garganacl knows that suddenly you lose. Like, you can just end up losing because now you've lost the ability to hit it with a fighting move at all. So I think that this is as much... I mean, this is one of my bold predictions. I think that Snorlax is maybe going to be the best it's ever been with Dynamax, which is scary to say because for a while there, it was on every single team, and it was really, really good. I think it might be even better now. We're going to have to see. But because I also think that when it was really good, it was also before Urshifu came out, and obviously Urshifu got the head start in Scarlet and Violet. So maybe I'm miscalculating that a bit, but I'm still gonna say that, like, with Terra turning into a grass type, if it is that Urshifus are ending up being a problem, like, maybe that's what you end up doing. I don't know. It's just, I think that Snorlax with Terra sounds really, like it's going to haunt my nightmares. These two Pokemon, hey, new toys for weather. We got Ninetales, we got Politoed. You saw me skip over them before. I think you probably assumed they were going to be green circles. These Pokemon, like, are now the second Sun Setter and the second Rain Setter. You don't have to use Torkoal or Pelipper if you want, or if you don't want to anymore, which is fantastic, right? Because both of those Pokemon are pretty slow. Now, Ninetales and Politoed aren't the fastest Pokemon in the world, but it's not like you have to... like, the thought doesn't have to cross your mind. If I'm running Sun, I might want to think about Trick Room. Not that Torkoal's on every Torkoal team's a Trick Room team, but now it's like, oh, Ninetales could be good for this. Let's try it out. I think that it's definitely possible. Ninetales also gets, like, Hypnosis. It can do some weird stuff like that. It's not a slouch in the special attack department. It's not going to be using full HP eruptions like Torkoal, but again, its ability to run in, like, a Tailwind team instead is nice. And the same thing goes for Politoed also gets, as people will know, Perish Song, and it also gets Hypnosis, and it gets... just a lot of stuff gets Helping Hand. Like, a lot of stuff, lots of stuff get Helping Hand. But it just gets a lot of stuff that you're going to just continue to see. And being able to set Rain without being quad, without being weak to rock moves, without being quad weak to electric moves, like, these are things that Pelipper can't do, and Politoed will be able to. And I think that Terra could really help out both of those Pokemon as well. Politoed especially. I think that being able to Terra your Politoed to keep it around a little longer could be really, really nice and helpful, and Rain teams are going to praise its return. And our last two Pokemon over here are going to be these two, and I did intentionally leave both of them blank. Clefairy and Clefable. Clefairy is the Pokemon that you've seen before with a Violite and Follow Me. It's going to be, like, I think we're still under a dozen Follow Me users. Like, yeah, we might only have, like, maybe less than 8 Follow Me users. There's not a ton, right? It's like, it's Mousehold, Indeedee, and, like, Pachirisu. Like, there's not a lot of Follow Me users. And Clefairy is a great one because Clefairy can choose to Follow Me to take an attack from an opponent or away from an ally from an opponent, or it also gets Friend Guard. So the Pokemon next to it will have a little bit better chance of living moves purely because it's next to Clefairy, which is really, really nice. Clefairy doesn't have to click Follow Me if it knows, oh, you know what, that move's not going to kill my friend while I'm on the field, so I can instead go for Helping Hand or Sing or, you know, the other things that Clefairy likes to do. I don't think Clefairy sings a ton. I'm forgetting all the stuff that it does do. Life Dew, right? Wasn't it doing that? Anyway, I think Clefairy's cannot be discounted. I don't think you're going to want to dedicate your Terra to it, so I don't think it's going to benefit from Terra as much, but that's my... Clefairy's going to be on a lot of teams, is my guess. You saw it on a lot of teams with Dynamax, and Dynamax was able to, like, you know, obliterate an Eviolite user So I think without Dynamax now, Clefairy is a little safer again. But my bold prediction, my next one, is going to be that actually Clefable, I think, might shine with Terra. Again, I just feel like it doesn't get Friend Guard, right? But it doesn't take damage from like poison and from fire spin and stuff like that. It only takes damage from the first attack that hits it, which is really, really strong. It can bulk up. It's really bulky. I just feel like a bulky Clefable will have the ability, like a Calm Mind situation, will have the ability to deal massive damage while switching your type on a pivotal turn, like we've been saying. And your ability to also be bulky and use Follow Me, I think could also be a threat. So I think that Clefable is going to see more play, potentially rivaling Clefairy even. And I really don't think being a fairy type is a bad thing. You look at this entire roster. It's the only fairy type, the only new fairy type coming in. With the exception, none of the new Pokemon in the Teal Mask are fairy types either that we know of, I don't think. So it's the only new fairy type. That's a good thing for it, and it's offensive. It doesn't have to be that your dedicated fairy type user is going to be Fluttermane. I think that Pokemon could be a great candidate. So I'm leaving it there. It also gets like Unaware, right? So it doesn't have to care about boosts. It's got a lot of good abilities. Both Clefairy and Clefable get good stuff. I think what I'm going to do now is, this is very last minute. I didn't plan this at all. I didn't plan any of this. Let's do one last go through where I'm gonna elevate some green circle guys. I'm only gonna do a couple. I'm gonna do Hitmontop. I think Hitmontop's actually gonna be fantastic. Pink Star worthy. This is the official judging system. I don't know. You guys have seen official competitions. You know that the Pink Star is the best you can get. I think we're gonna go Hitmontop. I think we're gonna go Snorlax. I think we're gonna go Dusclops. Those are going to be my 3 Pink Stars. I think they're going to be the only ones. I'm looking at the rest of the roster because I just think that more answers will be findable for other Pokemon. I still think there are going to be people who run Torkoal over Ninetales. I still think there are going to be people that run Pelipper over Politoed. That's why I'm not going with them. Spread moves aren't great for the Clefairy Clefables of the world. There's only more and more of those. And yeah, Mammoth and Conkeldurr, they're good, but they're not. And my Lotix may be the one I'm next closest to giving the Pink Star to. I just think there's a lot of good water types that might be chosen over my Milotic. But I really think that Hitmontop serves a really dedicated utility player position. Getting that Fake Out and that Intimidate on the same turn 1. I really don't think that you can overlook it. I think people are going to be running a lot more Clear Amulets because of Hitmontop, insanely. And I think that Dusclops is going to become just... imagine that thing next to a Cresselia. I don't want to. Or next to a Ursaluna. It's going to... you could burn your own Ursaluna. Ursaluna might not have to run Flame Orb anymore. That's awful. I really think that Dusclops is going to be everywhere. And I think that the versatility that Snorlax offers, plus its ability to go Ghost now, Danny Phantom, Snorlax, right there. I think it's really scary. Those are going to be my rankings. Let me know. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Again, red X's don't mean that I'm not going to ever use those Pokemon or I'm ever going to give them a chance. And I'm totally willing to be wrong about these things. This is just based on my own experiences and my own opinions. I'm definitely overlooking something. I'm definitely overhyping something here. So what do you think those things are? Let me know in the comments. I'm really interested in knowing. I am so excited for the Teal Mask. Let me know which of these Pokemon you're excited to see me use. If a lot of people say the same Pokemon, the Sinnoh starters are definitely going to show up in their own videos. I'm very excited to have them. And, what else? What else do you want to see? I can't wait. I'm excited. I really like that Pokemon's doing these DLCs. I'm still wonky on whether or not you should need to buy a DLC to be competitive in official play. But I do like the DLCs better than having to buy a whole third game and play through all of that. So I will say that I'm excited for this DLC. I'm excited for the other DLC. But let's enjoy this time while we can, where we get new Pokemon for the last time before one of those new Pokemon is Incineroar. Because let me tell you something, that's going to be double black diamond. You know, if we got pink stars showing up here, that Incineroar is in its own tier. It's got its own tier, and then there's a blank tier, and then there's all the Pokemon, right? So we'll do another video when that comes out, but enjoy it while it lasts. No Incineroar. Again, streams 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Tuesday night. Come join for one of those. Battles against the chat. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss it. Sign-ups are usually within the first hour of those streams, and then I have to cut it off because too many people sign up to get it done in time. Yeah. Again, thanks for clicking on this, especially if it was your first time. I'm normally battling on the ranked ladder. Go check out some of the teams I currently have available. Those videos are probably somewhere on your screen currently. And that's all I got for you. Thanks again for clicking. Thanks again for watching. Hit the buttons on your way out. And until next time, my name is Berm. See you later.